Director of Ceremonies, let me greet all of us here. Say good afternoon. We have come to the end of our very, I want to call it prestigious, because for me it was quite a successful event. We might not be as full today as we were during the opening. The activities have been thinning down, which is natural. But the reason why I'm standing up here, Director of Ceremonies, is to recognize ourselves here, starting with the Vice Chancellor, Re Totolo, and the Deputy Vice Chancellors. Our sponsors here, specifically the Botswana represented here by Re Secretary. Stanbic too is one of our big sponsors. The Ministry of Tertiary Education, MOTE, the Ministry of Basic Education. The BDF, as you see, we really have a very colorful representation here by the BDF. They were quite conspicuous in every activities that we had. I want to say thank you very much and hi to you. We have also representatives of industry among us here, representatives of institutions, deans and directors of BIUST. Yes, they are among us here, or even if they are not seated here, but they've been quite active in the program of the week. We've had presenters from various places, exhibitors, BIUST staff and students, students from public and private institutions were also here, and teachers from private and public schools as well. I would really want to make a special mention of the kind of institutions and the people that participated in this event, so that you may feel encouraged. We talk about the STEM Festival, the Research and Innovation Symposium, not as an event. For now, it might look like an event which took a week, but we want to create this a little more like a movement, this STEM movement, where it's like we're putting in the minds of everyone the idea that life is about STEM. And now we start thinking in the same way. Life is really about STEM. That's what it is about. Such that if we can live our life, sometimes we think it's difficult to live our lives, but we live our lives. That's how STEM should be to us. That is part of our everyday life. And the activities and programs that we sometimes show, like the STEM Festival and many others that we present, are merely but part of an agenda, a big agenda of socializing everybody in the country, if we can afford, but we believe we can. Socializing everybody into believing that indeed STEM is what life is about, and that nobody should fear it if you can breathe every day without making an effort. So you can learn how you breathe, what makes you breathe, what it is that comes into you. You never really think about those things, isn't it? That's how we should be as we learn our STEM, what it is meant, or what when you start adding 1 + 1, you can amplify that and you come into get to levels where you have other formulae. Prof, you're a mathematician, I always point at you. I know you love your math. Yes, there are other formulae which, if I were to ask him to stand up here and start writing on the board, we'll probably close our eyes. But all that comes from 1 + 1. And you're amplifying it and you're asking questions, but why? Then what? And what have you? And then things look like what they are. For him, it's so simple because he understands the basics. So all of us, as long as we have found the basics, we should be able to do anything, around STEM. Now, among us here, Prof, some industries like the Botswana Botswana has been well represented, and not only by its presence, but also by supporting us as a sponsor. Now, I won't say how much they've given us, because I haven't seen it as yet, but they told me that. And I have so much faith in them that even as we have not seen what it is they've brought, but it's something substantial that we need to really thank them for. You know, yeah, let's give them respect. And Stanbic as well, which has become like a lifelong sponsor. They've helped us in other instances, and even now they still remember that. Oh, that's we are a stakeholder there. BIUST. Whenever they have events, they are there. Yeah, and the BDF, by the way, they are part of us, and they recognize that so much. Let's give them a Botswana Telecommunications. When we talked to them, they said, but you came late. But their interest was so high. They said, well, even after the event, let's talk. And we'll be talking to them. So let's also Spectrum Analytics. Tebogo Halima. Is he here? I wish he was here. I promised VC that I was going to let out a secret. But I wouldn't want to let it out when he's not here. So let me let it out at the end. I hope he will be here by then. And we also have Pi Data, Bank Haburoni. These are industries that were here with us. Some of them not necessarily by bringing their money, but by participating. You'll be surprised what banks come to participate in here. They're not showing money, but what they were showing was that they stem in money. That's how they were here. And I think they successfully did that. If they didn't, then I'll ask them why they didn't. Right. We also have participating countries. It's participation from as far as Austria. Any Australian just? Oh, why are they not here? But they were part of us. Austria, Botswana, there were a lot of Botswana for them presenting, and yes. We also had some Germans, Germany, anyone? Hey, what guy? We did. I had not warned them before that we were going to say something about them. But they are among us here. India, Kenya, there is Kenya there. Lesotho, there is Mositi, and Mauritius left this afternoon. Right. We also had Nigeria. There's Nigeria up there. Yes, we also had some from South Africa, quite a number of them. Yes, there South Africans there. And we had Ugandans as well. Hey, who's representing Uganda? Uga, the main scientist. Okay, he's still outside, but he was here. Zimbabwe. Where is Zimbabwe? Our neighbor. Yes, Zimbabwe. There is Zimbabwe up there, yes. Right. We also had, in terms of participating institutions, Prof, we had University of Botswana. Well, I won't talk about BIUST because we're hosting anyway. And we participated very well, really, across the board. Right. And we had University of Botswana, UB, yes, there's UB there. Yes, we had people from Buan, there's one at the back there. We had the Radiation Protection Inspectorate. Oh, I know I went, but they were here anyway. Yes, and we had Franciscan College of Technical and Vocational Education. Where are they? I can't see the hand, but they are here. Yes, we also had New Era. New Era. Yes, Odi College of Applied Arts and Technology. Yes, they are here. Anyway. Yes, we also had other organizations as Ministry of Tertiary Education and Research Science and Technology, more there. Representative in the lower levels of departments. They were here, like Department of Radiation and DRS, was it DRST? Sure, some of the people have already left. Right, Human Resource Development Council, they were here as well. If you are there, yes, there's, I can see some heads there. SIPA stands for Companies and Intellectual Property Authority. Yes, it's here. Yes, we also had Botswana Institute of Technology, Research and Innovation, B3. Yes, well, the representatives are not here, but they are here. Right, we also had BOSTEM, the heads are not here, but they are here. BW Scholars, yes, there's BW Scholars there. By the way, that's a project we are involved in. VC will tell you the stories about BW Scholars. Prof here, we have discussed it with him about it. Speed series. Busikta, it's an organization of ICT teachers that we work with to train the teachers. They also had another training going on parallel as we were proceeding now. They were training trainers of trainers. I think about 30 or so teachers were also involved. Robotics training, there was a robotics training program that was done in collaboration, a collaboration between the Botswana Reciclary, put a hand in it, and analytics, spectrum analytics, they were part of that. So they're training young kids. We'll give the kids a few minutes just to demonstrate some of the primary schools what they've learned. I think that's where Remo Haliman could still be right now. Oh, he's here now. Okay, yeah, right. And there was also training on robotics done by our engineering department. Dr. Sigweni was responsible for that. Was also training, was it teachers or students? Or it was students. And these are students from outside. And they enjoyed, unfortunately, I don't know if Rafikin, you managed to get pictures of all these things that were happening. Otherwise, we'd see those things in the report that we are going to compile here. Design and technology, there was also design and technology competition. A few schools, about 4 schools around BIUST, Madiba, Shaneng, Lotsani, and Muyeng. They brought in some students with some projects specifically to compete because we had a program which was, we were collaborating with the faculty, the engineering faculty. Yes, there are some lecturers who have been working with these students in these schools, and they had some competitions that they were doing today. And as far as that competition is concerned, understand there was one student who came in, I don't know how he got the win of the competition. He came all the way from Kansas on his own to come and participate and took part in this design and technology competition. And I'm told this guy who just arrived on his own brought in a project which ended up being the first, #1 project. Someone who has heard about it, he said, look, I'm participating, I'm going, invited or not invited, I'm going to bargain when I get there. And he did that. Right. Of course, then we had Shaneng Senior Secondary School get in position too in that competition. Madiba too participated in there. Yeah. Otherwise, Vice Chancellor, my role really was just to say, this is the expanse to which participation occurred here. And I said I wanted to release a secret about Mohalima. Mohalima, I'm not putting you on a spot, but let me ask you just to stand up. Yeah. This gentleman here, I'm sure he's quite familiar to a number of you people here at BIUST, but he doesn't work here. He's an industrialist, he's working along. He has a company, Spectrum Analytics. But his love for technology is so high that he says, you know what, you guys, whether you like it or not, I'm going to be close to you and I'll be working with you. And for us, we said, yeah, we like that kind of people, and we are working with them. And somewhere in our files, these files, he's appearing. He's one of the fellows in the early, when was it? I think it was 2012. 2013. Yeah, 2012, 2013. 2012, 2013. When we advertised potential slots for PhD training, and we were looking out there in Botswana for young Botswana who could fit in that scope. He applied. He was interviewed. He was given scholarship. But just when we thought he was going, he came and said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going. And we were really surprised. How on earth can someone refuse a scholarship to go and do PhD? He said, no, I'm thinking of something else. So this is the Zuckerberg type who want to try things. And indeed, what he's doing, very soon I think, is going to make a breakthrough in something. He has already made a breakthrough. And we are saying, even though you distance yourself from us, we will not distance ourselves from you. And that's why we're keeping, our hands on him. At least you were here during the opening ceremony when he was actually conducting the discussions. There's a lot that we believe he is still to offer. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Director Ceremony. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. A round of applause for Dr. Matamani. I did not tell you who he is. He's the Director for Pre-University Academic Programs at BIUST here. And he's one of the co-hosts here. I will introduce the next one as we go on. We are going to get feedback from participants, specifically industry. And to do that, I'm going to invite Mr. Professor Clare, who is Head of Risk Management at Botswana. Professor Clare, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. All protocol, I believe, has been observed. So, when I was driving to Palapye this morning, because I've been traveling quite a bit, I had to write my speech early this morning, and I wrote it on a piece of paper. And then I thought, wow, would it not be out of context to actually attend a STEM festival and be reading something that is not technology? So I had to change last minute and stop in Palapye and bring out my iPad and start to make notes on the iPad, just so that I'm in sync with the theme. Obviously, so I'm not quite sure if I'm really the best person to give you feedback from the industry, because I really haven't been here the whole week. So I've been following what I have been able to follow on social media, but never want to shy away from the spotlight. I took the opportunity and I said, I'll find something to talk about. So I have a little story, very short, because I've been given very little time. So my story about science and maths is we have a very love-hate relationship. So when I was at primary school, someone convinced me that I was very bad at science and mathematics, that I should totally forget a career in mathematics, and I believed it. I think I must have been, like a lot of us, quite young and gullible, and what we are told is what we become. So I then ventured somehow through primary school, made it through primary school, made it through secondary school with this phobia. So I was the guy who, every exam, science, maths, I had to spend possibly 10 times longer, possibly 10 more hours longer than everyone else. So at some point, just before my O-level exams, I thought, but gosh, this can't be luck. It can't be just hard work. There must be something there. So I said to myself, I remember, so where I studied O-level was done in 4 years. So in the 3rd year, I said to my teacher, you know what, I think I want to write science and maths 6 months earlier than everyone. So my teacher said, why? And I said, I'm not very confident that I'll make it because I've got this phobia I've been carrying for so many years, but if I do it in June, and as I suspect, I won't do very well, then at least I still have November to make up. So June comes in my 4th and final year, and I wrote my sciences, my physics, biology, you name it, and I wrote my mathematics. And the results came about 2 months later. So out of all my sittings in that year, my highest percentage mark was in science and mathematics. So, thanks. But this is very strange because this phobia is still lingering. So the following year, well, I did my national service, then after that there was university, so I applied to university. I said, you know what, I'm actually going to brave this and try my luck out with, I think it was BSc. So my forms were lost 3 times. And I said, now this is a sign. So I'm staying away from science and maths. And I went on to study law. And then I became a lawyer. And many years later, I'm now working for a mine. And I'm head of risk management for a mine. And a lot of the stuff that we do in my space, it's engineering, it's technology, it's mathematics. And so the point of the story is, if we really don't believe that the future is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, surely this is evidence of that. From the 90s, or the 80s rather, when I was at primary school. Yeah, I just told you how old I am, or how young I am. So from primary school, when I was afraid of science and maths, to the point where I was working for possibly one of the biggest companies in the world, at least by diamond value. The world has moved so much to the point where now everything is STEM. It's even moved to the point now we hear the world has moved to STEAM and even STEAM. But the point of it is, it tells us that there's an inflection point. And there's an inflection point in Botswana. There's an inflection point at the company I work for. And the inflection point, I think, is summarized very well by a quote from Einstein, where he said, we can't solve future problems with past solutions. So we need to think differently. In Botswana, we're talking about diversifying away from a mining economy to services and knowledge. At Botswana, we talk about diversifying away from diamond mining, away from mining, because as you know, our economy is highly reliant on mining. So this means we need to change the decisions that we make. We need to change how we think about the future. So this is the inflection point for Botswana and indeed for Botswana. So it really is my privilege that I'm part of the story that we're telling, because we're part of the generation that's going into a brave new world. And this brave new world is made up of the 4th Industrial Revolution. It's made up of STEM. It's made up of a point where you can't distinguish between robots and humans, where humans are becoming superhumans, are becoming superheroes. We can't even tell the difference anymore. Robots are able to do exactly what we're able to do. We're moving into an age where we will need to coexist with robots. But having said that though, we find comfort in the fact that robots are not our enemies, they are our allies. We will understand life a whole lot better through robots. We will become more effective through robots. And I think, as Botswana, when we sponsored BIUST, and I think Ramatlawani, to assure you, The money is on its way. It must be somewhere around debate to our t-shirt, but it's definitely on its way. It will make its way eventually. So our commitment as Debswana through the sponsorship, and if you're here for I think earlier on in the week, we're giving away Rubik's Cubes. And I understand there were some competitions that were going, and there's one of them over there. So what this signifies to us is the sponsorship signifies our commitment to BIUST, our commitment to say, we are in the business of mining diamonds, and you are in the business of researching how can we creatively and innovatively solve problems and make better decisions. And we're at a point where we need to do exactly that. We need to make different decisions. So our sponsorship was a commitment to say to BIUST, we're coming to the table. We're coming to sit with you at the table for the betterment of the country, for the betterment of the industry. And what the cubes signify to us is the different thinking that we need to adopt in order to make the best decisions. We now need to solve a different type of a problem, a STEM problem. Importantly, we need to solve the STEM problem with a STEM solution. So this was our commitment to BIUST, and this was our commitment to the students to say, we're investing in the next generation of leaders, we're investing in the next generation of employees. Indeed, we're investing in you because you are the difference for the future. Ways of work are changing, problems are changing, decisions that have to be made are changing. So probably, thanks. I would like to appreciate everyone and say thank you, Ramatlawani. I know I'm singling you out because you are the one who brought me to BIUST. I mean, it's the first time I've actually been on campus, but thank you to everyone who's really made this possible. And we get caught up in the business of being busy, in the business of mining diamonds, and sometimes we need these events to remind us why we're doing this. For the country, for the youth who are the future leaders. And I'd like to also say thank you and well done to everyone who participated. Possibly my last point, word is to challenge you. And this is something I live by, and I've been able to possibly achieve the very few things I've been able to achieve through this thinking. And I'd like to challenge everyone in the auditorium to this. And it's that we must challenge legacy thinking. We must challenge status quo. We must refuse the status quo. We must find ourselves all over again every single time. Every time there's information in front of us, we must challenge it. And when we do that, we then think differently. And when we think differently, we then innovate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Rasatlare. He's challenged us to think differently from our day-to-day, the way we think every day. He's asked us to challenge legacy thinking and think differently. Who agrees with that? Who is with me in that? Okay, we're going to challenge it, Rasatlare. I see quite a number of hands going up as I ask them. Thanks very much again for your life story. I'm sure it's impacted a lot on most of us, especially the young ones, the students that we have here and the learners. Equally, I'm going to ask for feedback from a learner participant, and I'm going to ask Palapye to come up and give us feedback. Palapye Sehame.
Good afternoon. So I am Awako from Naledi. So I've been asked to share on what I've learned on this day. So first of all, I would like to start by saying the word engineering. So what comes into your mind when you think about engineering? Okay. So for every word, there's always a meaning to it. So first I'm going to start by saying the I, let's take it, that stands for eager, and then the N, non-stop learning, genius, intelligent, nation builder, effort maker, excellence, and also a right. So we have been gathered here. So we are here on an exhibition. So an exhibition is a platform for students to work together as a group. So as we are here to share knowledge. So we should allow ourselves to receive more knowledge so that we could be better prepared for the next generation. So, let's start. Why a science exhibition? So we are living in a developing country, and science plays a very vital role to develop or to the development of any country. So this STEM festival that we are here, so it helps us so that we could be able to solve more problems. And also I think this is a good practice because we are here with people who have more experience on this level of using technology and stuff like that. So we should be able to listen very firm and also understand everything that is being said so that you could be here on the next time so that you could improve also our projects to better help people in this world. So I myself have always been a person who's always liked quotes. So I'm going to share some of the quotes which I hear that I use to guide myself as I'm coming on. So the first one says, knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but also upon error. So that simply means that even if you make an error today, that error helps you to learn something. Yeah, so and also the other quote says, unless you try to do something beyond what you have already mastered, you will never grow. If you stay on one place, you will never grow. You won't understand any other things. So you should expose yourself to new environments. Don't just focus on one thing. Yes. So the other one is that the important thing in science is not much to obtain new facts, but also to discover new ways of thinking, so that you could be able to solve more problems than we encounter them in this world. So that's all I had for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Palapye. Rasatlari earlier on spoke of robotics as something very important, leading the way nowadays, and kind of the future. We believe it's the future for us here. We actually have a lab for robotics here in the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. Having said that, I'm going to ask robotics and coding team, led by Remo Mang, to do a few controls here. 5 minutes only. I want to see what robots can do.
Where are you guys? Bring those robots. And as they're coming on stage, we had primary school students, junior secondary school students, and senior secondary school students assembling and then programming these robots. I had to break the fun and the buzz because they were doing some mini competitions that side. So I think they'll just start controlling these. They build these from scratch by assembling them. But this wouldn't have happened without a number of people involved. Rasetare, he was like our main sponsor, and BIUST as well. We are partners, even though Dr. Mokabani didn't do a self-mention on that. Okay, let me get out of the way. You guys saw me playing with this the first day, so it's not my time now, so I'll leave the spot to these guys. And I also get one of them to explain what they learned, because, you know, it's not my gig. I also like to thank BIUST students who really helped us with coordinating this. We had 13 volunteers all in all. So guys, thank you very much for making this a reality. We were not alone in the partnership. We have EduStores Africa. We have Sally Kim here, who provided like the robot, the mini program, and they hope in the future we'll even packaging this to become a curriculum at school level for kids from 16 to 17 years as well. So thank you, Sally. And my team as well, who spent many sleepless nights preparing for all of this. And guys, play. It's actually amazing how primary school kids are always the first ones to assemble this first. I don't know what happens when we think. I'm not implying anything about age, by the way, just so that we are safe. So while we're waiting, can one of the participants from the coding session just come on stage and just tell us what they learned while these guys are playing? Don't be shy, guys. These have sensors on them, so they can do obstacle detection, they can do line detection, and just follow like a defined course. So say, you can introduce yourself and tell everybody what you learned and anything really.
Thank you. Protocol observed, by the way. So, yeah, standing in front of you here is Kosiki Palapye from Swanemi. We're here invited to be taught coding. So coding, I've learned a lot. I've learned that we need robots in our lives. We as humans, there are work that we do, time and again. Those jobs, we can then program our robots to, in a way, do them for us, which will reduce the time we spend doing repetitive stuff. So yeah, I think we've learned a lot here, and I truly appreciate it. We've learned a lot. Looking at our brother here, my uncle, yeah, he has made this possible for us truly. I truly appreciate it. Labor STEM, BIUST, you truly helped us. Programming. Now I think I have learned a lot. So thank you.
Yeah. So this was part of like a mini program that we were trialing here over like a 2-day period. And our aim is to have this as part of like every kid like learning from a very young age, because although it says STEM, it's the skills that, you know, one cultivates through STEM that allow us to solve problems even in other areas outside the traditional STEM fields as well. Problem solving, critical thinking, communication, because I wish you could see like a video of like the mini prize giving that side. It was really, really interesting, and we'll share with everybody, I think, in the end. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to invite research and innovation team's observations. As I said, we had STEM Festival and also had research and innovation symposium. So I'm going to ask a representative from the research and innovation teams for observations, and that will be done by Mr. Qualitas from SIPA.
Good afternoon, everyone. Protocol observed. I'm Qualitas from SIPA. I'm just going to give an overview of IP, intellectual property, which is a creation of mind, that which you have conceptualized and then you express it into a work. Intellectual property, under intellectual property, we have two elements. We have copyright and industrial property. I'm going to dwell much into industrial property. Industrial property, it includes your patent for invention, trademark, trademark for labels or anything that identifies your goods or services from those of competitors, and utility models. So in pursuit, we have observed that because in the value chain of patent system or IP system in general, the role that we play at SIPA, we only give protection to the artifact or innovations that you guys have created. Mostly you are innovators and researchers. So what we have observed, we observed around 25 artifacts that were exhibited, which can exploit utility model protection. Now, from the quote that was said by my colleague from DBS, is that DBS or DEPSON? I'm sorry, DEPSON. You cannot solve a future problem with past solution. In that, I just want to elaborate more with my own understanding that it's also not wise to reinvent the wheel. With the patent system, you are able to know that the solution I'm endeavored in is already been solved somewhere. Now, our encouragement, or as a way forward, SIPA, we are going to engage most of the institutions that are available here. We got their contact. So in a manner that whenever they engage themselves into any innovation or any research, should they consider using the patent information available to them, through that, they are able to know if the technology they want or the problem they want to solve is already been solved. If it's been solved, they can find a way of designing around or making any other, any effort that can make you not to do what has been already in existence or in the market. Now, the other thing is, when you are examining a patent application or utility model, any IP application, one of the criteria is that it should be new. New in the sense that it should have not been made available to the public in any how, even through the exhibition. As part of what we are going to do, we are going to devise a model in which, before these things are made to, are exhibited wherever they're going to be exhibited, before they go there, they should have a sort protection from SIPA before those things are exhibited. Reason B, if they are exhibited, when we are doing examination, we may set that exhibition as an element to impact negatively on the novelty of their application. We're going to say to you, this is not new. It has been exhibited or is made available to the public during the STEM festival. So as a plea to the organizers, ensure that before we make any kind of exhibition, this was done, Rentable is here, or DRST, HRDC. So before they conduct an exhibition, they call SIPA, we engage with the innovators and the innovators, we sell ourselves to them, that this is what we can exploit before you can even divulge your information to anyone. So with that, Ralemo.
Thank you, Repolitus. We are going into the award of prizes, and I'm going to invite Nali Philip to help me here. And this will be officiated by Professor Totolo, who is our Vice Chancellor here at BIUST, and he'll be assisted by the co-host. I said I'll introduce the co-host, Professor Edward Lungu, who is Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Development, and Innovation. As I call your name, you will pass this way, pass by Ma Kifitilere, get from Professor Totoro, and then do a handshake with Professor Lungu. Okay? There's about 3 groups here that I'm going to call up. For those who were in the who participated in the Research and Innovation Symposium as plenary speakers. First up is Dr. Spish Nelana. See here? Okay. Spish Nelana. It's gone. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to keep it for myself. But let's give him a round of applause in appreciation. Second is Dr. Somoni Diran. Go ahead as well. Most people are gone. Let's remember that others are going to catch flights in Gaborone on the way up. Dr. Frank Kilhoff. Go ahead as well. The whole team can come up. All 3 should come up. The whole team must come up. The next award is for, this was the second best poster, by the way. Okay, the third best poster award during this symposium goes to Reverend Julius, Defri Mapolelo, and Florence Nariti. Am I awake? Okay, round of applause again for them. Now, the next one is the Best Innovation Award for this symposium. And it goes to a team of Joano Habitaoleri, Adam Mutalo Zingero, Nono Politero, and Joseph Chuma. I invite the whole team up. Leading from the front is Dean Chuma. He's the Dean of Engineering Technology. Round of applause, please. The second Best Innovation Award for this symposium is Silva Raj and Venu Madhav. Okay, coming up. Congratulations. The third Best Innovation Award for this symposium goes to Enise Rame, Sepo Peku Ufikile, and Wellington Masamba. Looks like the team is not here to help us. Thanks very much, Marie. I'm going to invite Ramoses to help me here. Is Ramoses, I want you to help me here. These awards that I'm going to call out are certificates of participation for those who took part on the STEM side. The certificates are not yet signed, but we're going to present to you. But please, before we leave here, bring them back to me so that we take them for signing. First up is Lemang Romero. Yes, it's not coming. Second is Komodo Jonas. Let's applaud them. They're going to hear what you can applaud them. Sepiso Mohobere. Let me call them so that you prepare yourself. Monsieur is next. Then Edu Makara. Nkelele Musunyani. Most people are bored, but we'll call him anyway. Penyo Tajani. Botomahano. Quinton Bakani. I must speak up. Shatisho Mudala. Joseph Danto. Tabiso Museu. I think they're pushing him back there. Yes, he's trying to hide from us, but we can see you. Tabiso. Get an uncle short. I think some of us are shy because I can see you. Can see you again. Chisipo Jesse. Karabam Pali. Karaba Hosi. Elu. Solution kami. Papa mana pula. Desmond Munyazi. Desmond Munyazi. Ora kile chapete. Sapo denipa mudisa. Sapo denipa mudisa. Namezo solo ferro. Namezo solo ferro. Ratabile dimu. Mohaisi Hulera. Tribute Mabuto. Tribute Mabuto. Yale Muhammad Tiba. Yale Muhammad Tiba. Sungai Ndipange. Sungai Ndipange. Naledi Mweto. Naledi Mweto. Demonyenye. Demonyenye. Ame Musia. Kato John Ogozan. Then, last but not least, Boaho Haubarai. Boaho Haubarai. Most people are gone, hence our not having people to receive their certificates. But as said, they are here. The certificates are at BIUST. Just when you meet them, tell them to come through and pick them from our offices. Now, the certificates we are going to award now are for achievement in physics. It reads, the certificate reads as certificate of achievement. This regular certificates are awarded to, and they say the position, the name and the position, and then physics at BGCSE level. Okay? Now, the first position goes to Tabiso Museum. Round of applause for Tabiso. He's number one. Remember, he's number one. Second position goes to who? To who? To Koban. To Anthony Khan. Anthony Khan. Position 3 goes to Mosoezi. Position 3 goes to Wilamai Mainzanise, the tongue twister. Wilamai Mainzanise. The last batch of certificates that I'm going to call out are for excellence in science at JC level. JC is junior certificate. First position goes to Pretty Tibeho Sterling. Pretty Tibeho Sterling. Then the second position goes to Reseho Radipata. Reseho Radipata. Reseho Radipata. Third position, JC level, science, Tebohomatui. Tebohomatui. Thank you, Asit. There has been a correction made here. There was a person omitted in the Best Innovation Award during this research innovation. This one goes to Mr. Murat Pedi from Master State. You are omitted. Our apologies. Thank you. Thank you, BC. Thank you, Elu. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Just an announcement to say, announcement and reminder to say, please return the certificate so that we can take them through the signing process, and then we will find a way of getting them to you. Thank you. We've come to the end of our program, and I'm going to invite Professor Aoi Ochie for a vote of thanks. He's also a host here. Professor Ochie.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. Thank you, VC and the entire EMT, the deans and directors, distinguished guests, and in particular our most prominent partners and guests. Sometimes I don't know whether to call them guests or partners, BWF. So thank you very much. And the teachers who brought the young learners here, thank you very much. The researchers who managed to make this thing colorful, we thank you very much. The students, we thank you very much for having found time to come. The pupils, special thanks. And the community, we thank you very much for making this a successful day. Now, I just want to say a few things. The take-home message. Now, while we were seated in this place, and we were moving from one venue to the other, there are a few things that we were picking up. Some of the things we picked up, and I think some of you did the same. And one certain thing that came out is that science is very simple. Mathematics is very enjoyable. So that came out very, very clearly. Now, to the people who gave presentations, I was so impressed. I do travel quite a lot, attending different conferences. And it was impressive to see that here at BIUST, we have got international quality research, which is very impressive. And that is something that we need to continue doing. It shows the potential that we have among our students. But more so, what makes our research to have that kind of quality is the kind of exhibition that were presented by our young scientists. So these young scientists here, They are the ones who are the feeders to the quality of the research that we saw here. The other thing that we saw all along is that there was strong advocacy for lifelong learning. And we learned that we as Africans, we have done the catch-up in consumption. Now we need to do the catch-up on innovation. So, we saw how innovative our young researchers are. We really appreciate what you are doing. Now, why should somebody come to BIUST? You know, young learners, just tell me, why should somebody come to BIUST? Anybody with an answer? Why to come to BIUST? Do you see any reason why you should come to BIUST? Yes. They saw the reason to come to BIUST. Now, the reason to come to BIUST is where research that changes life takes place. So that's the message that you will take your colleagues, that it is the place where research that changes life takes place. Now, my work is very simple, and I want just to conclude by thanking the community and first of all, the team that made it possible for us to be here. That is the coordinating committee. Can we give them a round of applause? I also want to give special thanks, and we give them a round of applause, those who received awards. And I also want to thank the entire EMT that made money available for us to enjoy, eat, drink, and dance. So, and I can continue on and on thanking everybody, but I have to stop here, because my work was very simple, just to say thank you, and thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Prophet Chair. This marks the end of our ceremony this afternoon, and thank you for attending. For those who are traveling, Godspeed. We'll meet again next year. Let's give everybody a round of applause, please. I'm going to ask that we allow the Vice Chancellor and his team to leave the room first, and then we can disperse. Thank you.